My name is. Oh, I look at the camera. You. What is my eyeliner? I don't know. My name is Edwin Franco. I am a film director, producer, writer, and actor. San Diego, California. 3 a.m. At 3 a.m. in the morning, you gotta go to Tacos El Gordo. You gotta get tacos or Mexican food. I was born in Barrio Logan, Southeast San Diego. I was getting into hip hop. I had a crush on this girl that I got into hip hop because of a girl, East Coast hip hop. DMX, started with DMX because this girl liked DMX, so I like DMX. All my goals, I always, even in this film, I feel like psychologically, it's always because of a girl, I'm willing to do something different or pursue something different just to get that girl's attention. So, but there's this girl in my class I had a crush on, and she was into DMX, and I got into DMX, and then I got into hip hop, listening to like Eminem at the time, and she just never looked my way. Maybe she noticed, but I just was too much of like a nerd. I was a nerdy guy, and I brought her flowers. I remember I brought her flowers, and I thought we would meet up after. Man, I thought we would meet up after school. Like the bullies or friends. No, they weren't friends, but they were like people who were so-called friends of hers. Were trying to pair us up, but it was kind of a joke to them. It was like, yeah. However, I was like taking it serious. I didn't know how I was gonna get home, but I wasn't gonna miss my opportunity to give her flowers.
Did you give her the flowers?
No, she didn't show up after school. Right, heartbreaking. Yeah, it's heartbreaking. Like I need to write a film on that actually. And the funny way I got home.
Yeah.
It's so random. So here I am, heartbroken, and it's after school. She never shows up, and I'm by myself. And my brother's school bus, his school was nearby. My little brother's school bus was nearby, and it was coming up the hill. And he was like, "Hey, that's my brother." And I got a ride with the elementary school kids home. It was so random. Like it's such a random memory, but like I don't know how that happened. Like I didn't know how I was gonna get home. Like I didn't have a cell phone to call my mom. Maybe I believe I tossed the flowers away because she never showed, and I feel like in my journey as a break dancer and knowing what I was able to achieve, definitely put myself out there. I mean, if anything, like in the early stages, I only had like two moves. I had like a handstand, and then I had that one flip, and then I just had like a simple kick, and that was it. But then I made a better break dancer, and he would always make fun of how simple my moves were. But he was, when he got over it, like, oh, you know what? Well, let me show you. If you're gonna continue breakdancing, let me show you some additional moves or how to do moves. And because of him, actually, I learned how to do windmills. His name is Benji Chris or Chris Comfort. Pull him another pointer, but he was probably one of my first teachers. That early in my as a performer, like I remember doing Pepsi Air Band, performing at Sean Paul. Man, I'm the type or I understand the importance. I have enough knowledge to understand the importance of building confidence up or understanding that if I really want to do something, I have to just simply, or if I have a weakness in something, I have to just do it and build that confidence and build that experience in it. So maybe I'll use the latest example. Maybe I'm somewhat embarrassed of my salsa dancing. Like not as embarrassed now, but maybe of my salsa dancing then, especially dancing with a professional like Serena Cuevas. Shout out to Serena. That's my co-star in this short film. I didn't realize how much knowledge I lacked and experience I lacked in salsa dancing until I danced with her on my short film. When that moment came for me to shine, and we had to improv because I was relying on choreo that I learned, and we had to because of time we had to improv and film something. And at that moment, I didn't have anything to go with, like off the top of my head. And she's a professional. Like she's been on like Dancing with the Stars, and she's really she's a professional. So that was pretty much the catalyst for me to want to like grow as a salsa dancer, or realizing like I didn't know as much as I did. as I thought I did.
Yeah.
So that made me really want to like step it up and really learn salsa dancing.
Wait,
And
you weren't embarrassed. Like, you did you dance with courage? You're like, oh shit, I'm really bad at this.
I was embarrassed because I couldn't think of anything else to do, and I just was like, I was definitely like nervous because like, oh man, she's a professional, and I felt like I was wasting her time. And that writing, it was one of my biggest fears, and and my sometimes my fearing, doubting myself and my writing capabilities, and and what it took to build that confidence. Like if I felt that way, it's like, okay, why do I feel that way? Well, all right, if I feel this way, then I need to, like, let me read some books. Like, clearly I know the answer are in books. I follow all these business growth mentor social media pages that tell you the answers on what it takes to achieve certain goals and the habits they have of waking up early, fitness, reading books, going to sleep, like just it's continuing to develop. And then I thought, okay, overwhelming. Oh, when I'm overwhelmed, for sure. Like I'm overwhelmed, and then I'm thinking. I'm not in the moment. I'm not in the present. I'm thinking ahead, and I'm not thinking about. I need to be in the moment and continue to be in those steps to plan towards those bigger goals. That's when I get overwhelmed. Or sometimes knowing the big ambitious goals that I have, knowing the amount of work and steps and I have to put into place to get to those goals, and I get overwhelmed with that sometimes. Just thinking of all the like doing the feature film is just one aspect of getting to the bigger goals I have in mind, but I know I got to get it done. But even then, that's like a that's a long process. And then knowing that I don't have that time, fearing, maybe that's a good fear, is just time. Is like time. We take time for granted, and we don't have as much time as we think we have. Um, I don't think we have as much time as we think we have, especially with um, people in our lives, with our goals. Like time's flying. Like I mean, we're already in late January. I still feel like I'm in December of 2021. With in this process.
So many things to do.
Yeah, always, every single day, even with this film of Fuego. Like I feel like ever since I started developing that and filmed it in December of 2021, I'm still not. I mean, I'm done with the short, but I'm not still done with this chapter. I work out, I run, I sometimes take creative breaks, but the creative breaks I do, I try to do the things I want to do, I really want to do, that gives me peace of mind. And definitely, I definitely have a love for writing right now. Like I know I'm not a great writer, um, but I definitely have a peace of mind because like writing really helps me, especially when I'm thinking of or developing. I'm reflecting on like, especially with the story. It's very psychologically. It's pieces of every single personality. It's like as if I gave my pieces of my personality a character. That's what it feels like to me. So psychologically, it's like, cool. This is the kind of woman I admire. This is she's the business side of me. She represents the art that I'm trying to pursue, and then like the character represents how much I care about my brother that I'm trying to like push to grow, and then how I see myself on the outside with the character that's how I see myself. Um, how my brother or friends would see myself. That's kind of, like, so there's a lot psychologically that I'm breaking down in the writing process. And in the writer's journey, written by Christopher Vogler, really brought out a lot of psychologically, really brought out my feelings in this story. um, how I feel about, was there, giving examples, was there a time when you felt this way, or is there a mentor in your life? Who are the mentors in your life? Like there's, so, and here I am creating a story based off what this book is bringing out, but realizing like, wow, psychologically, this, I mean, historically, it even mentions it, like it really brought out um, my personality. And then I continue to reflect on choices, or why am I telling this, or what am I showing here? What does this mean? Like why, where does this come from? And you're just kind of reflecting on Like what I said, I meant like I was reflecting on that the other day. Was like, man, everything I've done was because of a girl, like for the most part, like. But it's funny. Like, all right, well, this is psychologically what the story's telling. But I got sucked into the world of film by started with acting. After that, like I didn't want to just be known as a dancer. A high school colleague of mine in high school wanted me to dance and act for his film. And being new to acting, that's when the acting bug bit me. And I loved it. I was like, oh, this is fun. I don't want to just be a dancer. I want to be an actor. So I started pursuing. I took theater classes uh, at Portland High School, and I loved it. I was like, I want to be an actor now. And I grew up watching movies as it is, but now I was actually doing it. Now I was like sneaking out my dad's camcorder to film myself, film my dance routines, and I just liked being on camera. I liked filming. I liked entertaining, being a performer for the camera versus the stage. And here I am pursuing acting in San Diego, but I found mostly background work. I didn't find any gigs, and I didn't know how to get those. The minute I got an opportunity to act on a film, it led me to networking, and from networking, I met a person who referred me to a project at UCSD, and that's what opened my eyes to film production in San Diego, or film production courses and classes. And I had a great experience, maintained a relationship with those directors and cinematographers, and I had an idea for this film contest that was up at the time for AMC's, where's my Breaking Bad, I forgot what it was. Hey, Dish Network, where's my AMC contest? Something like that. And that was 2012. And I remember pitching, I had an idea, a parody of this other funny commercial that I watched for DirecTV. And I pitched it to them. They loved it. And I already knew actors and I already had locations. So that's when I started learning I was capable of producing. And at the time, I didn't understand that. I was just trying to keep myself busy as an actor. And so here I am having more ideas, and they were too busy. So I decided and I tried to move to LA. I failed, didn't succeed in moving to LA. I couldn't land a job. And at the time, I was thinking like moving to LA with $1,000 would be enough. Would be enough to live in LA. Yeah, I know, right? This is how financially educated I was. And so I decided, all right, let me change course. Let me go back to school. Let me go back to school instead of for theater. Let me change it to film. And I went there with the intentions of networking, and I wanted to prove to my counselor I was very serious about this, to build up my GPA. And I went back at 27 or 6, so I was a little bit older and more mature, so I was really taking this serious, especially school. And met a great team there, and that's when I got sucked into directing. Like I was directing content and making acting in it when I could. But once the opportunity came to when I transferred to USC, I had to stop acting and focus on directing because that's what's required. Mm-hmm. So I focused on just film production, and that's my journey. It's always been being sucked in, just going with the flow. It's always been going with the flow. Oh, my friends are breakdancing. Cool, I'm gonna participate. Man, I would say focus on your goals. Focus on your goals. Focus on your craft, and focus, and the rest will follow. You don't chase. Don't chase. Let energy attract. Let energy be attracted to you. Don't focus on your goals. Focus on your mission. But but younger me didn't have a mission yet. He just be consistent. Simple as that. Be consistent. Work. If you are passionate about a goal, think about it 24/7. Think about how you're gonna achieve that goal. Plan out the steps to achieve that goal, and then take action. Don't wait a week. Don't wait a day. I mean, depending on the goal, but if it's a goal that simply just, okay, I'm gonna sit out for 10 minutes, turn off my phone, and write out my goals and write out all the steps I need to achieve those goals, and be consistent with it. Give it 3 hours. Work on your goals. 3 hours. Focus. Don't turn off your phone. Turn off your phone. Stay off social media. Turn off your phone. Start canceling out your distractions. Focus on your goals. and really focus. When I say focus, deep focus, 3 hours, no distractions. Eliminate if you have distractions. That's you need to plan out how to eliminate those distractions. My social media is muted. Like I'm not like I need it, but it's muted. Like and so when I check on my phone, then I'll quickly check. But it's because also I got to go to emails. I got to check who's messaging me, and then once I see cool, I'll check in another 3 hours. I'll check in 3 hours later. You know, if people really need to get a hold of me, they can call me or text me, or email me. Maybe I think that's the quicker way. But be consistent with developing your plan. That's with the root of it. Whatever your goals are, be consistent. No days off. No days off whatsoever. You may go up. You may be on a vacation somewhere in on an island, but doesn't mean you take a break not thinking about what's the roadblocks or the obstacles you need to overcome. Like, oh man, I'm having writer's block. Why are you having writer's block? What's that scene that you're stuck on? Go develop that scene. Continue to think about that scene. Go watch films for inspiration. There's so much inspiration out there. Be consistent. You gotta, if you're trying to get a hold of me, you gotta reach me through my agent Oz. Yeah, or Vu. Shout out to Vu. You gotta reach out. If you're trying to reach me, just simply Google Fuego Edwin Franco, and you'll find me.
We got 1 minute. Let's just say goodbye.
All right, goodbye, guys. Thank you, Lead Wolf, Oz, for having me, and we'll see you guys on the next journey.